Hello and welcome to A Very English Craft Room, to another scrapbooking video. This is the second in the series of the Chatsworth challenge, green, grey and butterflies. So I've challenged myself to use some green papers, some greeny grey papers, some greeny brown papers and butterflies, because I seem to have a lot of green papers and a lot of butterfly embellishments. As page 2 in this series is very similar to page 1 because I wanted them to make a double page spread, I have fast forwarded a lot of the steps and missed out some of the sorting through of embellishments because they're already there in video 1. So go back and check that one out if you haven't done so already. As both photographs had shades of grey in them as well as green, I wanted some of the greeny grey papers to form a little band across the pages. I'm using this butterfly one to form the bottom of one page and the top of the other. Originally I was going to put the butterfly paper at the bottom of both, but when I attached the greeny grey strip to them I realised that one of them I'd put upside down, so therefore the butterflies became the top of the page on one page and the bottom of the page. I'm using the T-square here to line up the greeny grey strip on each page and to make sure they're level with each other, then just peeling out the sticky tape from underneath them so that they're nice and level and it was easier to stick them down. So now I've prepared that part of the page, I'm sticking double-sided tape onto the bottom of both of them, and I'm sticking one to the bottom of that page. You'll see the paper underneath is damaged, so I didn't bother saving that bit. However, on the other page I did save it and cut it off to use in a later page. I'm matting the photograph on some greeny grey floral paper there. It's something I've had in my stock for a while and used a bit here and a bit there. So I want to use it up using this challenge, and I think it accentuates the grey of that sculpture. This again is from Chatsworth and from when we went for my son's birthday during COVID, when we could meet together outside but not inside. So picking out the green and grey embellishments and alphas, which I did in more detail in the first video, so go back and have a look at, like I said earlier, if you want to see that in more detail. I'm using the same alpha set, this is from American Thickers, to do the title on here as I did on the previous one. I was originally going to put surprising, but I didn't have the light letters left to be able to do that, so changed it to astonishing, which actually I think in some ways is much better. Chatsworth House is a really nice place to visit. The gardens are immense and full of sculptures, modern art mainly, with a different surprise every time you turn a corner. And again, when the house is open, it's a beautiful place to visit with a juxtaposition of old and new throughout the building. They change up the items in the garden and inside the house on a regular basis, so it's a nice place to visit time and time again, and all of my family's 3 generations absolutely love going and have done so for many years. Comment below if you've been to Chatsworth, or if there are places that you and your family like to visit time and time again. So I've got a day off from work today, which is quite nice, before going back to doing multiple flu vaccinations for the rest of the week. Just trying to get the NHS staff vaccinated with flu before we start with the COVID vaccinations. So far today I have sorted out some online banking and bought some stuff from Amazon for Christmas for family members, and after this I'm going to go and have a bit of a tidy up of my craft room because there's a lot of stuff out that actually needs putting away at the moment. Let me know if you're lucky enough to have your own craft room, or whether you have to share space with somebody else or find a little room wherever it is in the house. The other pages in this series probably won't have quite so much grey because the photos aren't quite so dominated by grey. However, one or two of them might have a little bit of grey, but I think they're going to end up being mainly brown and green, with green butterflies instead of grey ones. I wouldn't say butterflies are in particular a favourite embellishment of mine. I just seem to have a lot of them and recently have used quite a lot of them in pages. Up until recently I would say brads were the thing that I used the most, but I haven't used quite so many recently. That could be because when I tidied my craft room last time I put them away and they're not there straight to hand. Let me know what your go-to embellishment is. So here I'm using some little clear stickers again, like I used the clouds on the previous page. These are just some arrows from the same set. It came with an album and some pages and some stickers as a scrapbooking set, which I picked up cheaply from eBay during the summer. I've actually managed to pick up quite a lot of scrapbooking sets that have had pages and embellishments and stickers, as well as the album, quite cheaply off eBay, so it's always worth having a look. So here's just a one-off card that I was going to see if I could find somewhere to put it, but at this stage I can't remember if I actually use it or not on this layout. I know I definitely use it at some point during this challenge. So having a look here to see whether I wanted to put some titling above the journaling strip there, but I think at this stage I was fairly happy that this was enough embellishment, so start doing some journaling. Let me know if you try and use up several bits of cardstock together to form more than one page, or even a set of scrapbooking stuff that's all come together rather than bits from here and there. It's not something I've done before, so this is a little bit of a challenge for me, and may help me to actually use up some of the stock that I've got. So now, coming to the end of doing the journaling, so I'd like to thank you for joining me in A Very English Craft Room, and ask that you have a look at some of my other videos in this series and in the Christmas craft series. And all that remains now is to ask you, if you can, to like and subscribe, and hope that you will join me again in A Very English Craft Room.